I've got a commission-ish. Mrs. Hartigan wants a new table to go here at the window where it catches lovely sunshine in the morning. That one can go back outside in the courtyard where it belongs. So she wants a new table, or she suggested she would like a new table to go there. A little bit smaller than that, so where that one overlaps the window, I might do it about the same dimension on that side so it's symmetrical. And it doesn't have to be any more complicated than this one. But Mrs. Hartigan suggested she wanted a new table, so that means deadline is about, why isn't it ready yet? You were supposed to yell at me from the other room when I was saying, so the deadline for this is, she says she would like a new table. That means, why isn't it ready yet? That's your cue.
To say what?
Don't be so mean! Or something.
No. It's okay, you got as long as you want.
She doesn't do well on camera. So, first thing to do, I guess, will be to go and measure that table. So that measures 1130 by 740, I think it was. So I'm thinking 1100 by 700 will be fine. She doesn't want me to spend any money on it. I think I'll do the top from fence palings, which is fine because she wanted them out of her garden anyway. So I can kill two birds with one stone here. This is a first, and you're here to witness the first time that I empty the box. It's a new day. I've got a good bunch of wood sorted out here now. I might have to mix the red and the yellow. Or maybe I'll start out aiming for all yellow, maybe keep the wood for something, the red for something else. So, tabletop needs making. I've ordered some new pouring epoxy, 3 litres. I've never had that much before. Bought it off eBay. It's about $80 I think. For 3 litres, which is pretty good if it works. So my plan is just to make up the table top and then pour epoxy over the top to fill all the holes and to finish the wood surface, make it nice and shiny. A couple of people asked me for my thoughts on the electric planer, and I said I would wait until I did a proper job with it to give my thoughts. So I don't like it. Maybe I don't know how to use it properly, which is probably quite likely. But on this job where some of the boards were standing prouder than the others, I just wanted to knock them all down to the same height. But with this, I think that this is cutting deeper on the right hand side than it was on the left, as evidenced by some of them gouges there. It's because I think, and I was holding it flat, I was being careful to hold it flat, but I do believe this is cutting deeper on the right than it was on the left. That's one excuse I'm using, and I can't see any adjusting that can be done, and I haven't measured it as such, so all I can say is from what I see on my wood, I think it's cutting deeper on the right than on the left. Aside from that, it's also difficult because of this thing here, which I don't know what actual function it has, except maybe to hold the blade off the timber when the thing's resting. But if you start in the middle of the timber, you've got to get over that hump first. And if you don't start in the middle, you start on the edge, you've got to be very careful to have the plane flat when you hit the wood. A couple of times I've cut gouges out of it where it wasn't flat. Another thing is when you're going off the wood, off the edge, you got to be careful to keep it flat going off the edge, otherwise you will gouge, as I have done in a couple of spots. So anyway, it did take the edges off those boards, but it made more edges on its own by being deeper on one side than the other. Hence the sander. And the sander is now having to clean up all these little gouges in it. And so the sander I would have been better off starting with the sander and don't use this at all. Unless you want to hog away a lot of stuff, just to hog it away initially, and then do something like sanding or some, I don't know. I don't like it. Just don't like it. And I can't really see a time when I would take it out to do a job like this again. I don't know what I'd use it on. In fact, I'd probably be more inclined to take out the old-fashioned hand planer before I'd use this again. Unless I just want to get into something and gouge it out. Maybe if I wanted to put a bowl shape in here, maybe I'd hog out some material with it, but for fine work, for planing work, like you would normally use a planer, I wouldn't recommend this. But of course, that's just my opinion. So it's the next day that has set. I've just put dents in it with my fingernail, so it's not set hard, but it's not tacky. And it looks great on first inspection. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's cloudiness. And the reason for that is probably finger oil, because those are the places I smoothed it out or ran it round with my finger, and that has put that cloudiness in it. I'm going to do a little bit of sanding on it anyway because there's bubbles to break, but I don't know if the sanding will do anything for that cloudiness. And my other hope is that when I put a second layer on it, that cloudiness will be wetted and disappear because of that. I'm hoping. But otherwise, I mean, that's beautiful there, where it's nice and smooth, and it has made the wood grain pop. It's just beautiful. And to think that was a grey old fence out the back. Are you happy with that?
Yes, it's grand.
I don't think I'll do much more to it except varnish the bottom.
Shaving, or what's it? Chasing yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, this little knobbly bit is annoying though.
That's a fly, I think.
Yeah.
And there's another one there.
Oh yeah, and that won't come out, will it?
No.
So I can't be picking at it like a spot.
That's call it a feature.
Yeah, that's Tom. Tom the fly wanted to visit. So what you gonna do with the underneath now.
Just varnish it.
And it's stuck to your table,
Stuck to the table, yeah.
Alright, have you got varnish?
Don't know.
Feels nice.
It does.
Does it scratch?
It shouldn't. It's probably not 100% cured yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
you could probably put scratches in it now, but in a day or two it'll be fine.
Oh, and there's a bubble.
There's a couple of bubbles. I was just telling the camera without having the record button turned on,
Right.
because I'm an idiot. But I did use a heat gun, which is supposed to burst bubbles. And while it did actually burst the bubbles, the application of heat made more bubbles come out.
Right, and it burnt that little bubble together.
Well, I burst that with my fingernail just now.
Oh, did you?
So, well, I might use my chisel and slice that off, maybe.
Yeah, but then it won't be
But
smooth.
yeah, it might ruin it.
And you got a bubble on the corner.
Well, there's several bubbles there. You can feel them there. They're bubbles.
Yeah. And then you got
There's
holes.
a big one there.
Why didn't it go into the holes?
It did, but it didn't film.
Ah.
Well, that one's full.
No, that feels like if there's a dent.
Yeah,
in it.
well, no, that'll harden over the next couple of days.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of nail holes here that it went into, but didn't.
Yeah.
It just kept drinking it up, like
Yeah.
didn't film because it just like it went under the boards, kind of thing.
Interesting. Oh well, it was a good experiment, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm
You
gonna
can
figure
learn.
out what I'm gonna do for legs now.